then they send the company's owner or CEO to interview me with it's just an admin, small position.
Right.
Anyway, so the boss and the CEO came in. They start asking me very, very personal questions. Like, first of all, what bathroom am I going to use?
Yeah.
And then, how long have you been this way?
Right.
And is your family okay?
This is the Trans-Parency Podcast Show with hosts Shelbe Chang and Michelle Herman from Long Beach, California, where we bring you life transformation stories, business, investment, personal development, entertainment, and more.
Today I am bringing on a distinguished guest that has been working as a director, producer, writer, photographer, model. Not a used car salesperson, but we were able to say real estate, so we could say that as well. So as far as it goes, I'm bringing in a model that I worked with several years ago, Shelbe Chang, and I love the fact that she came on here and she's going to be very open to talk about a lot of things that are like the elephant in the room. So the reality is she's a trans model, and she's a banging trans model because she isn't just a model, she's a muse. She was a very accomplished muse when I worked with her, and we actually worked on a very good project together that I call Gender Bender, and I believe that particular some of the shots from that shoot wound up going into Frock magazine, a trans magazine as well. So with no more ado, please everybody, welcome to the show, Shelbe Chang.
Hello, John. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast, and I'm honored to be here.
So one of the things that I want to, like I said, I'm going to go back and I'm going to ask a little bit more about when you were growing up, because you went through this transformation, this transition, but obviously now we know because we're talking to you and you said you were trans at the beginning. So Let's go back to when you were younger, and how did you grow up? What was your lifestyle like? And feel free to say, did you know that you were trans?
Well, growing up, I from Taiwan, and at that time, my dad was immigrant here because of his family side. He's able to come here when I was 3. Okay. So I basically grew up with grandparents on my mom's side. So at that time, I spent a lot of time with my uncles, my aunts, my grandparents, and they're very traditional Asian persons. And so the way they teach me, it's also very tradition.
Right.
And so, a lot of time at nighttime I sat with my grandma to watch, Chinese opera. Okay. It's like, it's similar to Peking opera. It's like an actor or actress. They act in the opposite gender or sex.
Correct.
Yeah. So I thought that was very interesting. And I remember every time I would finish watching the show, I would pretend I'm them, on TV, try to act like them. So I remember I took my mom's scarf and then I put it on my head to make it like a long hair, like a wig, like this.
Right.
Yeah. So, I didn't think of anything at that time. And just, it's now looking back, I'm kind of grow up different and kind of doesn't like a boy kid, playing outside, playing all those action hero figures, G.I. Joes, all these things.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't play that. I just kind of very feminine, girly kind of kid.
Right.
But I didn't think about, I'm going to become trans. I am a trans. Nothing that. So it just kind of just evolved later on. And so we came here like around when I was 12, which it takes about almost 10 years for my dad to do all the paperwork and immigrant here.
Right.
Yeah. So I go to high school, junior high here, and then college. So at college years, I start feeling a little different, because at that time the internet just started coming out. And I'm sure you remember AOL, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that time, they already have little chat rooms, just like the Facebook group. It has a particular topic or subject. So I was curious. I signed up to certain type of groups and chat with people. And when I went on, because like I said, I feel different. So I went on those chat room. I chat as a girl. Yeah.
Right.
And then I took a, selfie. Of course, that time selfie is not very clear, but selfie and without a head, just the body. Like kind of dress girl clothes in the closet.
Right.
And I don't know how to do makeup. I don't have long hair like this right now.
Right.
So, so I just check. And then to fast forward, then, it evolved to like, maybe start meeting guys offsite. And then, so I kind of try to discover what's going on with me. At that time, the only term or label that I knew about is gay. So I thought I would just have some gay expression or gay feelings.
Correct.
But I still do date girls at that time. And I end up also married for 2 years when I was 28. So the marriage didn't work out. It's nothing to do with this side of my expression. And of course, my family and my wife at the time doesn't know.
Right.
And I just, I try to hide that feeling and
suppress it.
Suppress it and try to maybe thinking, okay, I'm going to go get married. I'm dating a girl and we'll probably go away, which I did in the beginning,
Right.
But somehow it just coming back. So I didn't. So the marriage lasted 2 years, and it's because I know it's because I'm too young. I wasn't
immature,
financial stable yet, and we still live with my family, and that's just drama, trouble. So,
right. In-laws and all that get involved.
So after the marriage ended, and I continued dating girls. But the other side of me started coming stronger. So when I go, I still chatting online, and now the quick list comes along.
Oh, okay.
They usually have a personal section.
Right.
They just been it like a couple years ago, not too long ago. Anyway, so I meet up with some guys from there. And when I meet up, I did kind of dress up. Like I remember I took one of my sister's shirt or dress or my mom's shoes or heels to wear it to go meet these guys. And I put on like, how do you call this? Beamer? Not hat, like
a beanie?
Beanie.
Got it.
Yeah. Cause I already have long hair in the front like this, so I kind of have beamer cover. So I kind of like I don't know, just try to be as girly as
Right.
Yeah. So I did that for a few years, and my relationship with that girl, we have a mutual breakup. We just feel, we're not for each other.
Right.
It doesn't work out. And we're still good friends until today.
Awesome.
And so at that same time, I met a guy on Craigslist, and he was a guy, and he said he has a roommate. She's like a transgender cross-dresser person.
Mm-hmm.
So they have this club in Long Beach. It's called Hamburger Mary's.
Yes.
And Hamburger Mary's every night has their own theme night. Every weekend is different theme. So one of the weekend is called Tea Girls Night. meaning trans girls night.
Yeah.
Okay. So they asked me if I want to go. I said, okay, fine. I never been, so I bought probably a dress the first time.
Right.
Yeah. And I had my wigs and did my awful makeup. Yeah. I had a picture. So you guys, it's very crazy.
Anyway. I also want to interject just for a second.
Okay, sure.
In case you guys have never been onto the Muse Evolution Podcast Show and you just are tuning in and you're realizing that this is a interesting podcast, I want you to know at the end of the podcast, most of the times, whenever I have a guest on there, they bring on their whatever materials so that we could actually show it at the end. So maybe if they're like a musician or an actor or an actress, Shelby's given us some stuff that she's given us permission to air. And what is that?
This episode is brought to you by Kitcaster. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. How do funded startup founders attract prospects and talent? Podcast interviews. How do entrepreneurs with exits find new deals? Podcast interviews. How do C-suite execs differentiate in crowded markets? Podcast interviews. Kitcaster books you on top podcasts. Click the link in the show notes for a special offer. Celebrate good conversation.
Well, I have a before and after picture.
So you get to see the before and after, and I know you don't share that too often, right?
No, I only posted one time on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And well, there's a few reasons because I really don't want to see myself from previous. Second, I don't really took picture when I was a guy because I don't have a confidence as a guy.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
it's totally different than now because I'm happier and I feel how I feel inside and able to express outside is aligned right now.
Right.
But before I didn't know what's going on with that, just no confidence and everything just seemed, no hope kind of way.
I understand.
For my own experience, when I transitioned, I kind of had it, I won't say easy, but I was more blessed
Right.
because my family, my mom, my dad, they accept me.
You said that, and when we talked before, I was really surprised when you even said that. That they accepted me, and I was like, "You're lucky." Yeah.
Yeah, I am compared to a lot of people. The reason being is I believe everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for me. Just like Tony Robbins said, everything in life doesn't happen to you, happen for you.
Right.
So meaning, at that time, my mom, we found out she diagnosed breast cancer. So at that time, we were very shocking and we were very worried. So I had my first relationship, a serious relationship at the time with my ex-boyfriend. So he came along and I introduced him to the family and blah, blah, blah. So because of that, my family found out about me.
Yeah, because you were doing a little closet stuff for a minute.
Because I don't know how to bring it up because it's so weird. In Chinese culture, it's hard to bring it up because we use the term, for example, because Thailand has a lot of ladyboys.
Right.
I'm sure you know.
Right.
But in my language, when it translate ladyboy, it's called human monster.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
So how can I? Let's say if you're my family, hey, I become a human monster.
Wow.
Because that's just gonna make it worse, right?
Yeah.
Because the terminology way back they don't know any good.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, so moving forward, so my parents, my mom, because of that, I think she changed life perspective.
Right.
So in a way, so when I came out to my sister first via text, and then my sister told my mom responds, as long as I'm healthy and happy, then it's okay.
Right.
And that's yeah.
But she was in that position. She was in that life changing position for herself, that she was more opened up to all that stuff. That's
right, because
she probably wouldn't have been the other way.
Right, because at the end, no matter what you have or how much money or how many materials you have, it's all come down to you to have health to enjoy everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially these days with COVID and everything. But
now that I brought some of that to the forefront so that you have a little bit of story about her, what was it, not being a human monster. She's a lovely trans female. We'll just call it exactly what that is. And she's just a good person, and she's a hard worker. I guarantee you that. And I love her transparency.
And now I'm kind of went to a second phase, or whatever you call next phase. I blend into the real world. It's not in a community. It's not shelter, protection, and only go to those bars that we are comfortable with. So I'm kind of go outside of that comfort zone. We call it. And of course, in the beginning, it's very uncomfortable, especially finding, you say, daytime job. And when I first started looking for a job as a trans person, that was 2016, 17-ish. It's tough because a lot of people are still not very informed. So I remember I went to my first interview as a trans person. It's an Asian company. So, they set like kind of like a table like this, and they have like 3 or 4 people interviewing me at once. And they just, ask regular questions. What's your experience? What's your background? Blah, blah, blah. And then because I'm not experienced with interview as a trans person, I told them about myself. I said, "Oh, I'm a trans person." And then, I'm blah, blah. And so they all start getting all gear. How do you call
anxious.
it? Yeah, like uh-oh, like that.
Yeah.
So and then they send the company's owner or CEO to interview me with it's just admin, small position.
Right.
Anyway, so the boss and the CEO came in. They start asking me very, very personal questions. Like, first of all, what bathroom am I gonna use?
Yeah.
And then, how long have you been this way? And is your family okay? See, it become like it's not a job.
They cross the line.
Yeah.
The line, right.
And then I'm not sure if there's a labor law at that time yet or not for us. Right. But now we do, we have an equal job labor law to protect us.
Right.
Certain things they cannot ask or cross the lines.
Right.
Yeah. So from that experience, I learned, and I started getting from uncomfortable slowly to be used to it, So down the road, I able to find a job that, they don't ask me that question, and I don't have to say I am who I am unless they ask.
Right.
Don't ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell. You go, that worked for you, right? It's like, don't ask, don't tell. Just leave me alone and just hire me based on the quality of work that I'm able to do. And
so I'm at this work for 3 years now, and nobody ever questioned me. Maybe they knew. I'm sure my lady boss, but she never questioned me. She never, make any difference.
Right.
Yeah. And then I also got involved with real estate. Okay. So I'm a realtor in Southern California right now. So same thing. My broker, they're all fine because it's based in Long Beach. I'm not sure if that's make any difference, but
probably makes a lot of difference opposed to being somewhere in Montana. So I mean, I'm not sure.
Yes,
I'm not saying anything bad about Montana. I'm just saying that, that it's I don't know. What is it? By population, No, I forgot. Because I used to think at one time San Francisco was the spot that was okay to be out.
Right.
But then I think Long Beach is like one, but there's another place that's
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood.
West Hollywood. I agree. West Hollywood for
Hollywood.
sure. Yeah. So where you're free to be you. Just in general, you've got to be committed to be. This is who you are. So obviously you're doing what you're doing. And, I commend you for doing it because it's hard to be who you are with a mask on all the time of pretending you're not that person.
That's right. That's why, as a guy before, I mentioned earlier, I wasn't feel happy. I wasn't confident and I don't feel accomplished. Somehow.
Right.
And I'm a very introvert, shy person before. Totally opposite. I don't know why. It's just a magic.
Right. Like
and then
magic.
When I talk to some other girls in our community, many have the same experience. Oh, I was a nerd. I was a geek.
Oh, really?
I had
Really?
glasses,
Right.
No fashion whatsoever. So, and then somehow, I don't know why, when I'm, like I say, aligned to this,
Right.
I just not shy. No one see I'm doing film, I'm doing modeling.
Right.
So this is not a shy person would do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even now, right? So,
Right.
And I get to meet a lot of people that I will never thought I would meet, including you,
Right.
because as a guy, I was in those little circle of Asian Chinese friends.
Uh-huh.
And that's why my English was bad at the time because I don't get to speak it.
Right. You stay within that small knit
little
community.
spot
Yeah.
community. That's very interesting.
It just broke a mold that you probably would
somehow,
have been in.
yeah. So the path of life just somehow just take me down to that path. Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. I know that just in everything, sometimes you walk into you realize that there's something that you want and you start walking towards it. And then you wind up start seeing different blockades, and maybe it's the color of your skin, or maybe it's because your ethnicity, or maybe it's because your sexual preference, or how you identify. A lot of these things are barriers that a lot of people start to do, and I'm going to just straight up say it's hard not to say, it's impossible to say people don't judge other people, because that's what we have been doing all our entire lives. We're taught immediately to assess someone from just on a glance and create this backstory from information that you've gathered from, say, your mother or your uncle or your boss or your best friend, and you guys compile all these ideologies together and you impose them onto somebody else. And so a lot of time that hinders them from actually growing and becoming a better person, an artist. And sometimes you don't realize it, but you make them stronger.
Yes. So it just have to go over the hump.
Yes, yeah.
Life has different obstacles. I experienced that myself, even though I'm all sharing my, smooth, positive experience. But when I broke up with my ex, I had a very bad recovery. I was very depressed. I was very broken for 2-3 years. And like you said, even in my own group of friends, they judge me. Yeah. They weren't there for me. Yeah. I'm sorry to say that, but it's the fact.
Yeah.
And, the gossip, the drama, just make me feel worse.
Right.
To be honest.
Sometimes stuff happens, but the reality is that when there's no one there to be your support, like your friends that are there for you, or your family that is not able to give you that support that you need. Yeah. Sometimes you need to step outside the box. Sometimes you need to get counseling, a doctor, somebody to talk to. Right. And one of the things that we agreed to also was that for people who are watching this program that are going through whatever you're going through, that I'd very much like for you, if you're in that situation, if you can't turn out to the people that you know and love and that you feel that should be there for you, that you actually take the time to try to save yourself, and probably calling like the National Suicide Lifeline. And I've got the number we're going to put up on the screen for you guys later on. If you wind up having problems like this, keep it on speed dial on your phone, program it in your phone if need be, and the number is 1-800-273-8255. And you could also go on to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. And, your life is very precious, not just to you, but to everyone else around you, because the ripples of the effects of suicide and the loss of life of somebody that you really, truly love and care about, it's just devastating and never leaves.
Yeah. And don't feel embarrassed about telling,
Do not feel embarrassed.
Because life happens, and no matter who you are, what color, what, like you said, gender identity, sexuality, we all been through the same thing.
I mean, it's kind of like I said, the people that you touch, it's like there's ripples, and we met a long time ago doing this shoot, but it's like the connection that we have has never left. It's like we've always touched base from time to time.
Yeah.
And I don't see that ever changing. And obviously, like if there ever gets a point to where you need something, you can call me, you can talk to me or whatever.
You too.
I will. I will. I mean, life is challenging. So even in trying to attain your goals, you got a lot of things that come into the way, and just don't do anything rash. Just stay with us as long as you can. Life is precious.
Yes.
Thank you for joining the Muse Evolution Podcast Show. For those of you joining us via audio podcast platforms, there is an alternative. The Muse Evolution Podcast Show can also be viewed on www.themuseevolutionpodcastshow.com. The Muse Evolution Podcast Show is absolutely free to listen to, but it is an independent, for-profit business that is created by Muse Evolution Photography, the creator of fine artworks created from around the world in high-resolution photographed by artist John Lewis Rushing Jr. We hope that you visit Muse Evolution Photography at www.museevolutionphotography.com and view some of our products. There you can support the program by purchasing yourself something that is useful, like a t-shirt, PPE apparel, a calendar, to something more decadent for yourself as a gift or for purchasing for a friend, such as a book, affordable posters, to creating your own collection of limited museum quality fine art pieces and starting your journey to becoming a connoisseur or purveyor of modern fine art.